All right, so we're here with Michigan Works with Lewis Strom from Michigan Works, and we're talking about some interviewing skills. Maybe you're ready to make that next step in your career, but interviewing is not something that we do often, and so sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating. What are some things that people should keep in mind?
Right, I totally agree. It's a very intimidating process for people, especially younger individuals who haven't been in the job field or the professional workforce for very long. So we always at Michigan Works stress the importance of mock interviewing and interview preparation. So whether it's coming into Michigan Works and scheduling a mock interview, or using a family friend or somebody in the neighborhood that you know, somebody that you don't feel comfortable with, and having them asking you interview questions, and then identifying what questions do you struggle with, what about yourself do you have a hard time articulating, and just really being able to explain your skills in a verbal way in an uncomfortable setting. And it's really important to kind of get that preparation in.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier, you know, interviewing is not so black and white as it used to be. People kind of want to know a little bit more about your personality. How can people prepare for that?
Right, so interviewing is now more focused around what's called behavioral-based interviewing. And what that is a lot of employers are going to ask you examples of things in your background that show a certain skill. So a lot of times an employer will ask a potential hiree something along the lines of, give me an example in your background where you had a conflict with a coworker, or how have you used communication skills to overcome a problem. So I always encourage people to really think about your previous experiences. It doesn't just have to be work, especially for younger folks, you know, anything in school. I mean, we all have challenges throughout our life. So being able to go into an interview with some really good examples that you can use to show certain things like problem solving, communication, teamwork, things of that nature are going to be really helpful.
And these are some basic tips that you guys are seeing on your screen. Run us through these real quick, Lewis.
Right, so you always want to arrive at least 5 to 10 minutes early. You don't want to arrive too early, but I think it's always good to set a good example. You know, first impressions are everything with an interview. You set yourself apart through little things, so always make sure you dress appropriately. Obviously,
so no blue jeans.
No blue jeans, no pajama bottoms. Make sure you have a nice button up or a nice business slacks, or you know, really take the time to dress nicely for that interview. I think one of the most important things is researching the company that you're going to be interviewing with. Nothing shows better to an employer than an interviewee who can come in with knowledge about the company, with questions that are ready at the end. You know, employers really like that when you engage them at the end of the interview. So not only do you want to know about the company, but you want to have some questions ready. And I always say, focus on the mission statement of the company. Understand what their mission statement is, and so when you're going to be talking to the employer, you're really going to be reflecting the same values that employer has.
Gotcha. Now, real quickly before we wrap, how can people get a hold of Michigan Works for more advice and even some practice runs? Sure.
So we do mock interviewing. Everything that we offer at Michigan Works is free. There's actually a job fair coming up on July 17th for Brookridge Heights, and that's a great way to come in and interview with the employer. But we're open 5 days a week, 8 to 5. Come in anytime you want. We're a free service, walk-in service. We really encourage everybody to come in that needs help. There are Michigan Works located in every county throughout the state of Michigan, and we're here to help.
Awesome, Lewis. Thank you so very much.